And we're gonna be working on the motor. The motor's in.
Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy.
Alright, so the new day out here in Maryland. I'm with Big Head, and we're about to start stripping Chico's old motor. I still have to pull off the wiring harness. I'm gonna pull off the exhaust manifold and the AC bracket. Because with the AC bracket, the one that came with the H block, seems like the compressor is hitting the subframe. So hopefully with this bracket, it might switch it up.
12 seconds later.
Bruh, it's hot. But mama ain't raised no bitch, though. So I got the wiring harness off, got the exhaust manifold off, and the bracket for the AC compressor. Got it right there. I did get the motor in last week right after I did the brake lines. GoPro did die, my battery died, and I didn't record it, but that some bitch in there. So now all we really got left is just hooking everything up to it. So let's get to it. Got the AC compressor on. Do gotta get a shorter belt for it. Got the clutch line all hooked up, slave cylinder hooked up, and bled them. So we got brake pedal. Gotta adjust the bracket, drill some holes a little bigger or longer to make the bracket fit. Got the clutch fluid reservoir, got the fuel lines hooked up to a new filter, stock filter. I even got the axles put back in and the half shaft mounted onto the motor and suspension components back together. September 5th, 2018. About to hop on Chico's car for a little bit, at least get the radiator in and see how much other things I can get put back together. Been jumping around all day. I mean, if I was able to focus on one car for longer, it'll be easier to finish. I have 2 kids. I got other stuff going on. I trap, so I'll be all over the place. But I'm gonna keep pushing. Ain't no stopping me, for real, for real. Crunch time. Got the vacuum line from the brake booster to the intake manifold on. Got the throttle cable on. The original bracket was right here on these 2 bolts, but the original throttle cable is too long. I took it off and I flipped it around and connected it on 1 bolt to the idle air control valve. It's pretty tight, but that's the only way I can make it work until we get the right cable for it. Gotta get a longer return hose. Not long enough. This is the stock one that came off. Gotta get a longer one to connect that. Got the radiator on, looking real nice. Painted the brackets with new hardware. Got the hoses on, starters on. Also got the shift cables hooked up and the bracket hooked up. Chico will be getting a new heater hose. It is kind of torn from there and kind of like. Okay, so we got like every major component that's mechanical and hydraulic back on the motor on the car. We got the clutch working, axles and suspension, throttle cable, AC. Just need a little tedious things. So the next step will be electrical, is wiring harness, computer, wiring up the fans, putting the wipers back on and getting everything to work and ready for the first startup. However, the trap is calling me, so I will be back, but stay tuned. September 6th, today, I'll be focused mostly on wiring anything electrical. So I'll be using the stock harness. Overall, mostly all these connectors will connect to their own sensors. The one I might have to change up is the one that goes to the distributor. Let's get started. So this is the color Chico chose with to go with the valve cover. Something a little loud and different. So these wires are the wires that go to this connector, that go to the crankshaft position sensor on USDM cars, JDM cars, or JDM motors. At this point of time, we're using them on their cars. We had to take these wires and run them to the distributor to make it work with the connector that came with the engine. the throttle body off the old engine. Gotta cut off the rivets off the throttle position sensor, so I can use that on the H-swap, because the one that came with the swap actually is broken. You got Chico redoing the trunk. We just cleaned out the trunk to make a new place, I guess like a wooden floor, I guess, for the battery, and get that mounted. Got the trunk floor mocked up. That's actually the stock battery tray. We actually had to unbolt half of it, and we're gonna be using the stock one to mount the battery here. You can see the cables. We still gotta do the ground to chassis. But yeah, we need power from the battery, add some grounds to the engine, throttle position sensor, add the new spark plugs, and gotta wait for the spark plug wires, which should be in here tomorrow. Can y'all see the rain coming down? This shit sucks. It fucking blows. So we gotta call it quits. Gotta put the hood back on, but hey, keep on pushing. So, since we're rained out a week before Honda Day, we're still trying to get Chico's car ready. We're gonna be working on his headlights. We're gonna do the projector lenses, and we're gonna do it inside. So Chico and I are pretty much done for the day, but we got the projector fitted to the lens or to the housing. We had to trim that, but it did mess up kind of the chrome paint, so we're gonna repaint the chrome on both headlights, but we'll be doing that tomorrow. But yeah, we'll be painting the chrome part tomorrow. We got shit to do, and it's Saturday.
A few moments later.
Hey, I look cute. I don't look cute no more. That's fucked up. Hey, I look cute again.
Monday, September 10th. And today we're trying to get the car turned on. It's actually drizzling. It's calling for rain this whole week. Even Honda Day, Saturday and Sunday is calling for rain. So I'm not really sure how we feel about that, because if it does rain, we kind of don't want to go. Got the computer ready, got the belt on, all the little tedious stuff. We're about to try to knock it out right now. So let's get to it. Chico installing the last ground wire. We got oil, transmission fluid, coolant, new filter. We got the belt on, and we got Chico working on the battery right now. It ain't finished. We're just mocking it up, hooking up power and ground. Try to see if we get the first startup.
One eternity later.
This is my first H-swap.
Yeah, man.
I swear to God, I'm happy as fuck right now.
We just turned it on.
Finally got the drone running.
Here.
Life is ruthless, right? As a kid, we never thought that we could lose the fight. Shit, we all had big dreams back in middle school, but real life is played by different rules, and reality hurts. So I always keep a bag of the perp and pray for the best until they put my ass in the dirt.